Hello everyone, this is Garrett204 here, and welcome back to another Minecraft World War II vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be going ahead and building the M4A3 Sherman. The M4A3 Sherman was the most numerous version of the Sherman built. It was widely used throughout the war by many different nations and continued to see service way in after the war ended. The Sherman and the M4A3 Sherman also was the base model for many variants, such as the EZ8 and the Jumbo, to name a few. And this build here is going to be an awesome addition to any World War II scenarios you have. It's one of the most iconic and representable tanks from the American side during the war. This build does use a few tools that are going to be more of a Java-based tool, such as the Debug Stick, and also my resource pack here has a bit of the blocks changing here and there. Overall, it's a pretty straightforward build, should be pretty easy to follow along with, but with that, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our first layer here, we will be going ahead and starting with layer 1. Now for layer 1 of the build, we're going to be going ahead and starting with placing down a deep slate upside down stair like this. Behind the stair, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 blocks in the ground, just like this. And then we want to place down a deep slate stair like that on the back there. Once you have that all done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 1 and 2 dark oak wood fence gates across from this stair here. We're going to place down a second upside down stair, and then we're going to go ahead and place down, again, our 6 blocks in the ground, just like this. And then another deep slate stair here on the back. We're going to place down a lever on the backs here of these stairs, and then we want to go ahead and grab ourselves some of these grindstones, and we're going to place down the grindstones so that they're facing each other like this. You can also place them just like this if you don't have the ability to place them connected to each other, so just keep that in mind. But basically we're just going to be going ahead and placing them like this, going across here. After we have that done, we're going to do the same thing over here on this side. So just like this, and we have our road wheels basically complete at this point. Now in the middle here, we're going to go and take our prismarine slabs, and we're going to place down a row of 2 across the centers here in between those grindstones. So just like this, filling in the middle here. And then we're going to place down one more row that goes between these stairs here. After that's done, we're going to take our item frames and place them down on the sides here of these grindstones, and I am using invisible item frames. They can be obtained on Java. If you do not have the access to the invisible item frames, you can just use normal item frames. It's no big deal. Pretty much doing the same thing here. Just trying to add some green here to these road wheels. And we're going to place down some green stained glass panes in those item frames, so it looks like that on the sides here. Now for my Java players, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of 6 of blocks here. And same thing over here on this side. We're going to go and take dark oak wood buttons, and we're going to place them on the sides here of these blocks. And we'll use our debug stick here to rotate the buttons around so that they come off of the grindstones as well. And what this is going to do is it's going to add a little bit of extra detail to their wheels, just kind of spice them up just a little bit more. And again, this right here is going to be mainly a Java feature, so unfortunately if you are on Bedrock, this is something that we won't be able to replicate. But on Java, you can get the best looking design there with that on the sides. Now once that's all done there, that is going to wrap up everything we have for the main structure, and just a few little kind of touch-up things. We're going to place down 2 item frames on the front of these grindstones, or not grindstones, sorry, these dark oak wood fence gates. We're going to place down trip-bar hooks in those item frames and rotate them so they face downwards for some little toe hooks on the front of the build. And that right there is going to wrap up everything we have for layer 1. Let's move on to layer number 2. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer 2. For layer 2 to start with, we're going to place down 2 prismarine stairs like this on top of those fence gates there. And we're going to go ahead and place down a green shulker box on its side to both sides like so. On the shulker box itself, we'll place an item frame and a cobweb in the item frames, like that. And if you're on Java, we can also place down a dark oak wood button on the side of those blocks as well. After that's done, we're going to take some dark oak wood trapdoors, and on the front of these green shulker boxes, we're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor like that on both sides, just to kind of help keep that color a little bit closer to the tracks there, and keep that a little bit more consistent like the tracks wrap around. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these polished deep slate top slabs back. Or just, sorry, the deep slate tile slabs back. And then we're going to fill in the space in between them with rows of 2 of green terracotta. And we're also going to place down a row of 2 on these 2 top slabs here as well. Coming off this row of 2, we're going to place down a green shulker box to both sides, followed by an item frame coming off those blocks, a cobweb in the item frames, and then we're going to place down a dark oak wood button, on the side of the shulker boxes as well. Once we have that done, we're going to place down a row of 2 of green stained glass panes in the middle here, and we want to then place down a deep slate wall to both sides of those glass panes like that. If you're on Java, we can also go ahead and extend the glass or the walls here to kind of basically fill in the spaces to the side. So we're going to extend the walls so that they connect outwards, just to kind of fill in that space, make it look a little bit more solid of a look there for those rear wheels. And once that's all done there, the last thing for us to do here is we're going to go ahead and place down an item frame on this slab, second from the front and second from the back. We're going to place down a green terracotta block in those for the roller wheels. So that'll be done on both sides here. And then we'll just grab ourselves a dark oak sign, and we're going to place down a dark oak sign on the side here of this slab as well. And again, same thing is going to be done over here on this side as well. And the sign and the item frames are only going to be able to be placed if you're on Java. If not, you'll just be placing down the item frame in the green terracotta block. With that all done though, that's going to wrap up everything we have for layer number 2. Let's move on to layer number 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to start with, we're going to place down a row of 4 of prismarine slayers across the front here. And then we want to place down a green carpet on top of these shulker boxes, as well as we're going to place down a chain that's going to come off this stair here like that. We then want to take our green terracotta, we're going to place down 3 rows of 4 of green terracotta going back like that, filling in that space there. We then want to go ahead and place down 2 mossy stone brick blocks here. These can be substituted for green terracotta if you're not using my resource pack. We're going to go ahead and then place down a end portal frame that's going to be to the sides here. And if you're on any version, you can go ahead and place down a little eye of ender in it, and it's going to basically create this this look here like that on both sides. And we're going to go and place down a dark oak sign on the sides here of those ender portal frames. Also on the front here, we're going to place down an item frame on these stairs here, and we're going to place down snowballs in those item frames. If you're not on Java, I'd recommend probably maybe deleting the green carpet to be able to have the space to put the item frame in. But again, it's up to you on what you want to do for that. Next up here, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 ender chests across this space here, and we're going to go ahead and then place down a piston to both sides. We're going to place down a row of 2 of pistons across this space here, and then a prismarine slab. Again, if you're not on Java, I'd recommend instead of the pistons here to go ahead and just use the end portal frames instead. We're also going to place down dark oak signs here on the side of these pistons or ender portal frames, whichever you have. And we're going to go ahead and then on the very back here, grab some flower pots and some zombie heads. We're going to place down a flower pot on top of these blocks here, and then just a row of zombie heads across the space like that. We'll then take our debug stick, and we're going to go and right click the pistons so it gets rid of that wood portion, and it helps us with the shaping there for the very back of the tank. With this, that's going to basically wrap up what we have here for the back, and it will look something like this here once you have that all complete. Anyways though, that's going to wrap up everything we have there for layer number 3, and with that, let's move on to layer number 4. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to start with, we're going to place down a row of 2 of stairs across this space here in the front, and on the sides of these stairs, we're going to go and place down a dark oak sign like this to both sides. Now, we're going to go ahead and then place down our dark oak signs. So for those of you that don't have access to the debug stick, we'll be using barrier blocks. So these blocks here, we'll place down a row of barrier blocks like this, and then we have our dark oak signs like that to basically kind of create the barrel here for the gun. For what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and basically bring these signs like this to the sides. So I'm going to place down some temporary blocks here to both sides, and I'm going to put dark oak signs like this. I'm going to use my debug stick here to rotate these signs so that they are back to back. And what it's going to do is it's going to create a nice kind of thick gun barrel there for me, and it allows me on Java to place down item frames on these stairs. So we're going to place down an item frame on each of these stairs, and in those item frames we're going to place down black concrete and some green stained glass pane like that to go ahead and create the front there of the turret. Once that's done, we're going to place down a row of 2 of green terracotta. Then we want to place down a row of 2 of polished diorite. After that's done on the sides, we're going to place down a green stained glass pane to both sides, and then we're going to place down a white stained glass pane going back. On the very back here of the turret, we're going to place down a row of 2 of mossy cobblestone walls, a item frame to the sides of these walls, and in that item frame, we're going to place down a tripwire hook like so. Also on the very back here, we're going to place down a dark oak wood fence gate to the left side here and open that fence gate up toward the stair. And we're also going to place down another item frame on the side of this fence gate, and we're going to rotate this so it faces downwards like that. After that is all done, we also want to take our debug stick here, and for this green stingless pane, we're going to go ahead and extend it forward like that so it connects up to that sign there and just kind of creates a little bit more of a better shape there for the turret looking down on it. That right there is going to wrap up everything we have there for layer number 3, and with that we'll be moving into our final layer, which will be layers 5 through 7. Moving into our last final layers, we have layers 5 through 7. For these layers here, we're going to start off by placing down an item frame on top of this green terracotta block, and then a green terracotta block in that item frame. We'll also place down a flower pot here, and if you're on Java, we're going to build a block out from that flower pot. We'll place down a birchwood button, and we're going to go ahead and rotate this button so that it comes off the flower pot like that for that little spotlight on top of the turret. Behind the flower pot, we're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor, and we're going to go ahead and then place down a mossy cobblestone or mossy stone brick block here. This can be substituted for just a standard prismarine block instead. We're also going to place down an item frame here if you're on Java, and we're going to place down a green bed in the item frame like that sideways for the little slit there for the commander. Then we're going to place down a dark oak wood fence post on top of this block here, and then on top of that fence post, we're going to place down a fence gate. And coming off the back of the fence gate, we're going to place down a wither skeleton skull, and then going forward from the fence gate, we're going to place down a lightning rod, which you want to have facing like that, and then a chain coming off the lightning rod like so. We'll also place down an item frame on the right side here of the fence gate, and in that item frame, we're going to place down a black bed and rotate it sideways, as well as we'll take our debug stick here, and we're going to go ahead and right click this fence gate, and we want to set it in wall to true. Then we're going to place down a zombie head here to the left side, and underneath that zombie head, we're going to place down a lightning rod, so just like that. And then on top of it, we're going to place down an iron bar that goes up like that for what will be the radio antenna. Anyways, though, once we have that all done right there, that's going to wrap up my design here for the M4A3 Sherman medium tank. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this build and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this design, I do ask you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be anything from the side of the build to my channel or this video if this does appear on any social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for the build, you're free to use it for a project you guys are working on. And that though, thank you guys all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.